Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome back to California Divorce Buddy. I'm Rachel, and today we're diving into something that confuses a lot of people going through divorce or child custody cases: retainer. If you've ever wondered what you're really paying for when you give your attorney that upfront fee, or how to make sure you're not blowing through it too fast, this video is for you. So grab a coffee, get comfy, and let's break it down together. All right, first things first. What is a retainer? Simply put, a retainer is a sum of money you pay upfront to your attorney when they take on your case. Think of it like a deposit. It shows that you're serious about working together and gives your attorney the resources to start handling your case. But here's the key. That retainer isn't necessarily what you'll pay in total for your legal representation at all. Like, never. It's more like a down payment. Your attorney will bill against it as they work on your case. That could be for things like phone calls, drafting documents, or court appearances. Now, let's talk about how attorneys actually use your retainer. Every time they work on your case, whether they're drafting paperwork or attending a court hearing or even responding to your emails, they'll charge you their hourly rate and subtract that rate from your retainer balance. So let me give you like a little example up front. Let's say that your attorney charges $300 an hour and your retainer is $5,000. That's actually pretty average for most parts of California. So if they spend 2 hours in court, which is pretty minimal, okay? 1 hour drafting documents and another hour emailing you, that's 4 hours total. So that's $1,200 and it's taken right out of that $5,000. You see how it just trickles down quickly? And here's where things get tricky, really tricky. Once that balance runs out, they're going to ask you for another retainer to keep it going. That's why understanding how retainers work is so important. It can help you manage your legal costs and fees and avoid all sorts of surprises. So, what does your retainer actually cover? I just have to tell you, you must read your retainer agreement thoroughly to find out exactly what's in here. But here's a breakdown of the typical expenses that you'll find. First of all, you got to look at your attorney's hourly rate. That's the big one. Every time they're working on your case, that clock is ticking away. Tick, tick, tick. Even short tasks, they add up so quick. And there also may be this thing called a roundup, okay? And look at again, you have to check this retainer agreement, because what this is that if you use, let's say, only 6 minutes at the end, it will round up to 10. Okay, so look at your retainer agreement to see if this clause is found in there. So the next thing is filing fees and court costs. Sometimes you'll need to pay for things like filing fees. In fact, it's pretty common. You're going to need to pay for filing fees with the court, and your attorney will deduct this from the retainer. Another thing is communication time, and we kind of touched on this already, but that includes emails, phone calls, and meetings. So be mindful of how often and how long you're contacting your attorney. So I'll give you some tips on how to be efficient with this in a bit. The roundup problem comes in, though, if you're making many small calls and emails instead of larger ones. Think about it. Your time will just round up every single time. So if you're making 10 small calls or 10 small emails, every time they're working on your email or call, it rounds up at the end. Okay, so you're paying extra time. Another thing that comes out of this retainer is paralegal work. If your attorney has a paralegal working on the case, sometimes they do, sometimes they don't, their time is going to be billed, and sometimes it's at a lower rate. Usually it's at a lower rate, but it's still going to come out of that retainer. So it's important to keep in mind that your retainer is for work done on your behalf. It doesn't just sit in your attorney's account untouched. Every single bit of work that they do is subtracted from that balance. So now let's get to the good stuff. So how to make sure you're using your retainer efficiently so you're not burning through it faster than you need to. These tips can save you hundreds, if not thousands of dollars in legal fees. So I have a longer video that focuses specifically on these tips for free on my website, so check it out. But let's just get started. The first tip is to get organized before contacting your attorney. Before you email or call your attorney, make sure you have all your questions written down and any necessary documents that you have like in hand. This way, you're not reaching out multiple times with questions that could have been handled in one conversation. And we talked about this, right? So group your questions together. Try to avoid sending off one-off emails every time a new question pops in your head. Wait until you've gathered a few questions and address them all at once. This is the same thing repeated again. The less back and forth communication, the less time built. So the third tip is use your attorney for legal advice only. Okay, I rarely have ever had a client when I was a practicing attorney that didn't have anxiety, at least a little bit of anxiety, and this causes things to be stressful. I know this process is stressful. It's tempting to vent to your attorney. Okay, everybody is venting to their attorney, but remember, it's not free. They are billing you for that time. It's better to save emotional conversations for a therapist or a divorce coach like California Divorce Buddy. So 4, you can understand, you got to kind of get in your head what you can do on your own. There are certain parts of your case that you might be able to handle without your attorney's involvement. For example, gathering documents or filling out basic forms. Ask your attorney what tasks you can do to save yourself time and money. All right, so those are just a few. There's so many more. So let's wrap this up with some key takeaways. Retainers are an essential part of working with an attorney, but they're only a starting point. The more efficient and prepared you are, the less time your attorney spends on the little things, and the more you save in the long run. Remember to stay organized, group your questions, and handle what you can on your own. The goal is to make the most of every hour of your attorney's time that they spend on your case. So if you want more detailed tips on how to save money throughout your divorce or custody case, remember, I've got a free video on my website called How to Not Blow Through Your Retainer in a Quick Minute. Just click in the link in the description to watch the video. You have to enroll, whatever, but it's not a hassle. I believe in you. You can do it. So if this video helped clear up some confusion about retainers, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. And if you're looking for more tips on navigating divorce or custody battles without losing your ever-loving mind or your wallet, make sure to subscribe to the channel for more videos like this. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you at the next California Divorce Buddy video.